Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take, well, basically a stack of information, could be articles, new research, maybe even your own notes, and we really pull out the important stuff. The insights, the surprises, those aha moments.
Things that really click.
Exactly. Our whole mission is to give you that shortcut to being genuinely clued in, always with hopefully a bit of the unexpected, maybe enough humor to keep you listening.
Fingers crossed on the humor.
Yeah. So today we've got something a little different, a unique challenge, almost like forensic work compared to our usual dives into, say, business reports or science papers.
It's quite specific.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yep.
We're diving deep into the raw, minute-by-minute account of a professional football match.
That's right. Today, we're looking at the Seattle Sounders FC versus Paris Saint-Germain PSG. A big game held at Lumen Field in Seattle.
A proper clash.
Definitely. And our source material, it's this live play-by-play match report. Think of it like a running commentary of pretty much every key event, every pass, every save, every substitution, exactly as it happened.
So really granular stuff.
Super granular. And our mission today, it's not just about the final score. We want to really get under the skin of the game, understand the tactics, the flow, those crucial moments where things shifted.
And the decisions, right? The choices made on the pitch or the sidelines.
Exactly. It's all about understanding how the result came about. Real-time strategy, basically.
Okay, and spoiler alert for anyone who missed it, the final score was 2-0 to PSG.
Yep, clean sheet for PSG.
But that's just the number, isn't it? The real question, the thing we're digging into minute by minute, is how did we get there? How did that 2-0 happen? What tiny actions mattered?
And why did they matter?
Precisely. And I think it's a great lesson, really, in how small details build up the big picture. That applies everywhere, not just sports. Analyzing trends, projects.
Absolutely. Understanding that step-by-step progression is key.
So let's paint the picture. Lumen Field, packed, the whistle blows. Christian Garay gets us underway. Match kicks off. And almost straight away, first minute, a throw-in for PSG, then one for Seattle.
Yeah, the usual start. Teams feeling each other out, testing the waters.
But even then, you start to see little hints of intention, don't you?
You do. And what jumps out almost immediately, like in the first few minutes, is Seattle's attacking intent. They came out wanting to play.
Really? How so?
Well, at the 3-minute mark, Seattle gets a corner. Albert Rusnak takes it. And straight from that, Jackson Ragen gets a shot off. Gets off target, but still.
A statement of intent, early doors.
Exactly. Then, just a minute later, 4 minutes in, another corner for Seattle. Rusnak again, they're pushing. And by 10 minutes, Raden's involved again. A header, this time, also off target.
So, multiple attempts early on.
Yeah, this early aggression, it clearly signals Seattle's plan. They weren't going to sit back against PSG's. They wanted to impose themselves, take the game to them, show they weren't intimidated.
Using that home crowd energy, maybe.
Definitely. Trying to maybe snatch an early goal, get a psychological edge. It's a bit of a gamble, though, pushing high against a team like PSG known for counterattacks.
So how did PSG handle that? This early Seattle push, we see a goal kick for them at 3 minutes, a throw-in at 5. Were they just weathering the storm?
It looks like it, doesn't it? That's the interesting contrast. Seattle's pushing 2 corners, 2 shots in 10 minutes. PSG, they seem much more composed, patient.
Letting Seattle come on to them?
Kind of. Reacting more than dictating initially. It feels like tactical probing. Seattle trying to find gaps, test PSG's setup. PSG may be happy to just absorb it, get the measure of the game before they decide to turn it on.
Gathering intel, almost.
Exactly. Waiting for their moment. They know they have the quality, so patience works for them.
Okay, so we move past 10 minutes, and you mentioned PSG turning it on. Does the dynamic shift now?
Oh, absolutely. You can feel it in the report. PSG starts to find that rhythm, exert the kind of pressure they're known for. It's like, okay, playtime's over.
And how does that look on the pitch, according to the report?
It really kicks off around the 12-minute mark.
Yeah.
PSG starts applying serious, sustained pressure. Suddenly, it's corner after corner for them. Nuno Mendes takes them all. One at 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Then another right after 13 minutes. And getting repeated corners like that, well, it tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it means they're pinning Seattle back.
Exactly. Territorial dominance, sure, but more than that, they're consistently getting into dangerous positions, forcing Seattle deep, putting balls into the box, asking questions of the defense and keeper.
Building pressure systematically.
Spot on. Testing for weaknesses, trying to force that opening. Seattle's being pushed into just reacting, defending.
And this pressure leads to chances, right?
Yeah.
I see a flurry of shots here.
Immediately. At 12 minutes, Desiree gets a shot on target. Saved. Then 2 minutes later, Vitinha has a crack. Off target this time. But then, 15 minutes, do again. Shot on target, saved again.
The keeper's earning his pay.
He really is. Because a minute after that, 16 minutes, it's Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. A big threat shot on target. Saved again. Fails to score. It's just relentless.
Wow, 3 saves in, what, 5 minutes?
Pretty much. And what's fascinating isn't just the sheer number of PSG attempts, it's the resilience of Seattle's keeper. That takes immense concentration, skill, maybe a bit of luck too.
Must be frustrating for PSG, though.
It can be. A mix of frustration, but also belief, you know?
Yeah.
They know they're creating good chances. For Seattle, it's like a desperate defense, hoping the dam holds.
Huge pressure.
Immense. And it keeps going. 30th minute, Du has another shot on goal. Still no breakthrough.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense, the keeper, they're constantly under the microscope, constantly working, getting tired. It's pure attrition.
In Seattle, are they getting any respite? I see a mention of Jesus Ferreira.
Yeah, at 19 minutes, Ferreira gets a shot off for Seattle. Off target. It's like a brief reminder they're still in it, trying to counter when they can.
But it doesn't really stop the PSG flow.
No, not really. PSG just kept their focus, kept pushing. Then, 33rd minute, they get a free kick in a dangerous spot.
Okay, getting closer.
And then, 2 minutes later, another corner for PSG. Mendes again. You can just imagine the tension building. They're turning the screw, using these set pieces to push Seattle deeper and deeper.
Setting the stage.
Perfectly. Piece by piece. They were building towards something.
And here it is, right? The moment the first half really hinges on. 35 minutes.
Yes. The breakthrough. Right after that corner, it happens. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia scores for PSG. 0-1.
Finally broke the deadlock.
And crucially, the assist comes from Vitinha Vitor Ferreira. It shows that link-up play, that quality. And it wasn't random, was it? It came directly after that period of sustained pressure.
Free kick, corner, goal.
Textbook. Win set pieces, put the ball in the right areas, and have the quality to finish. It shows how they turn pressure into a real advantage. Vitinha's vision, PSG exploiting the space, patience and persistence paying off.
And the momentum just swings dramatically there, surely.
Instantly. Huge boost for PSG confirms their approach worked. Massive blow for Seattle, especially after defending so hard. All those saves. Now they have to chase the game.
Changes everything.
Completely. And as we get towards halftime, there's another interesting point. 44th minute. Raul Neves for PSG gets a yellow card.
Late in the half. Frustration. Or tactical.
Could be frustration, maybe.
Yeah.
But more likely a tactical foul, right? Stop a potential Seattle break before halftime, protect that lead. Shows they're willing to do what's needed, even take a booking.
Smart, if cynical.
Part of the game at this level.
Yeah.
Shows they're feeling in control enough to manage a situation like that.
And then, right on 45 minutes, Achraf Hakimi has a shot off target. Still going for it.
Looks like it. Even with the lead, seconds from the break, they're not just sitting back. Still looking for that second goal, that cushion. Shows their attacking mentality.
Never satisfied.
Pretty much. So halftime whistle blows, it's 0-1 PSG. And the story of the half is clear. PSG's efficiency won out. They built pressure, wore Seattle down, took their chance. Seattle fought hard, started bright, keeper was immense, but just couldn't convert their own moments. PSG dictated things.
Okay, second half kicks off. Teams are back out. Does PSG ease off? Now they have the lead.
Not a chance. Right from the restart, the report shows PSG picking up exactly where they left off. Still pushing, still attacking.
No letting up.
None. 48th minute, Seni Meilu has a shot, off target, but the intent is there. Same minute, PSG gets another corner. Then another one in 50 minutes. Both taken by Nuno Mendes again.
Wow, just continuing that pattern.
Absolutely. It confirms their strategy hasn't changed. They want that second goal, kill off any Seattle hope. They're not sitting on one knee or they're pushing to extend it. Even 60 minutes in, Neves has a shot, off target again, but still always probing.
Must be tough psychologically for Seattle, seeing them come out just as strong.
Definitely. But Seattle, to their credit, they're trying to respond. You see free kicks awarded to them, goal kicks. They're trying to get a foothold, launch something.
But finding it hard to create clear chances.
That's the problem when you're chasing against a team like PSG. Getting the ball is one thing, but breaking down that organized defense, creating a real quality chance under pressure, that's tough. Often those moments become more about relieving pressure than building a real attack.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're getting near the hour mark, and the managers start to play their hands. Substitutions.
Yeah, this is often crunch time, isn't it? Where tactical tweaks can really make a difference. 57 minutes, Seattle makes a double change.
Who comes on?
Danny Musovski replaces Jesus Ferreira, and Kalani Kasarienzi is on for Ryan Kent.
Interesting. Trying to freshen things up, find an equalizer.
Almost certainly. Bringing on Musovski for Ferreira, maybe looking for a different type of striker, more direct runs perhaps?
Yeah.
Or just fresh legs? Kent off too suggests they want new energy, maybe different tactics out wide or centrally, trying to disrupt PSG's rhythm. It's the coach, Brian Schmetzer, rolling the dice.
Trying to spark something?
Exactly. And they keep trying. 61st minute, Rusnak takes a corner for Seattle. Then a minute later, John Bell gets a shot away. Off target, though. Still fighting.
Showing that spirit.
We are. But then, 64th minute, PSG responds with their own double sub. And these are big ones.
Go on.
Warren Zaire-Emery replaces João Neves, who was on that yellow card, remember? And Bradley Barcola comes on for the goal scorer, Kvaratskhelia.
Taking off the goal scorer. Bold move.
It is, but it shows confidence and depth. Bringing on Barcola, another exciting attacking talent, means they're not shutting up shop, they're reinforcing the attack. Zaire-Emery for Neves adds midfield dynamism, maybe shores things up too. It's Luis Enrique, the PSG coach, making proactive changes, not just reacting. Injecting quality to push for goal number 2.
A real chess match.
And Enrique's move pays off almost instantly.
Ah, this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? The impact of those subs.
Devastatingly quick. 66th minute, just 2 minutes after those PSG changes, Achraf Hakimi scores. 0-2 PSG.
Seals it, pretty much.
And here's the kicker. The assist comes from Bradley Barcola, the guy who had literally just stepped onto the pitch 2 minutes earlier.
Wow. That's the definition of a super sub.
Absolutely textbook. It just highlights the quality PSG has on the bench and maybe some inspired timing from the coach. Coming on, making an immediate impact like that, setting up the goal that doubles the lead, that's a massive blow for Seattle.
Crushing, especially after making their own changes.
Totally crushing. Makes the comeback incredibly difficult. Needing 2 goals against this PSG offense, it's a mountain to climb. That goal and how it happened really feels like it puts the game to bed.
So from 2-0 down, Seattle is now just desperately chasing shadows.
Pretty much. You can see the urgency, maybe even desperation reflected in their next moves. 71st minute, 2 more subs for Seattle.
Who this time?
Georgi Minungu replaces John Bell, and Danny Leiva comes on for Albert Rusnak. Then, much later, 87th minute, Jordan Moritz replaces Obed Vargas.
Throwing attackers on, hoping for a miracle.
Looks like it. Minungu, more is known attacking players. Bringing them on late, hoping their individual skill or fresh legs can somehow unlock that solid PSG defense. Leiva maybe for some midfield creativity, but by now PSG are comfortable, they've brought on their own fresh legs. It feels like damage limitation or just playing for pride for Seattle.
Tough situation.
Very, but they keep going, which is commendable.
And PSG, how do they manage the endgame? More subs from them, too.
Yeah, but their changes feel different. More about seeing the game out. 77th minute, Goncalo Ramos replaces Seny Mayulu. 83rd minute, Ibrahim Mbaye replaces Desire Du.
Closing the door.
Exactly. Less about scoring more, probably more about maintaining possession, fresh legs for pressing or defensive work, just controlling the tempo and running down the clock, frustrating Seattle, killing any faint hope. It's professional game management.
Standard procedure for a top team with a lead.
Pretty much. They know how to close out a win.
There's also a moment, 81st minute, Nuhu Tolo for Seattle goes down injured.
Yeah, play stops briefly. Looks worrying for a second, but the report says he gets back up and returns to the pitch pretty quickly.
Good to see. But a reminder of the physical demands.
Absolutely. Especially late in the game, chasing like Seattle were, every player's fitness counts. Tolo getting back up quickly avoids another potential disruption for Seattle.
So the final minutes tick by. Seattle still pushing.
Valiantly, yes. Last-ditch efforts. Danny Leiva, who came on as a sub, gets 2 corners late on 87th and 89th minute. Try and get something into the box.
Any luck?
Doesn't seem like it. Then 89th minute, Alex Roldan has a shot, but it's off target. They showed heart, kept going right to the end.
But just couldn't break through that PSG defense.
No. By then, PSG were likely very organized, determined to keep that clean sheet. The final whistle goes after 5 minutes of added time, which the report notes at 90+1. That injury time probably just saw PSG managing the ball, a throw in here, a goal kick there, running down the clock.
So the second half story, PSG gets the crucial second goal via that brilliant sub. Seattle fights hard, but can't find a way back against a strong, well-managed opponent.
That sums it up pretty well. Consolidation and control from PSG. So if we zoom out now, connect all those minute-by-minute details to the bigger picture, that 0-2 final score for PSG, it's emphatic. And that clean sheet is really significant.
Keeping Seattle scoreless at home.
Yeah, especially against an MLS side that showed attacking intent early on and clearly fought hard. For a top European team playing away, it says a lot about their defensive organization, their discipline, their tactical setup. It wasn't just about scoring. They were equally good at stopping Seattle.
A hallmark of the elite teams, right? Strong at both ends. And looking at the attacks, that contrast we saw throughout the match really tells the story, doesn't it? PSG converting chances versus Seattle.
Not. Absolutely. PSG's ability to take those key moments, turn shots on target into goals, that clinical edge, was the difference maker. Seattle had attempts, sure, but too many were off target or saved. They just couldn't find that finishing touch.
It's not just about the quantity of shots, is it?
Not at all, and that's where digging into the report helps. Looking at shot on target versus off target versus saved gives you a feel for the quality of the chances and the finishing. PSG created chances that either forced great saves or, crucially, beat the keeper. Seattle struggled to consistently produce those high-probability chances. That difference in efficiency is stark when you look at the whole 90 minutes.
And the substitutions, we talked about it during the match, but looking back, their impact seems massive.
Huge. Especially that PSG double sub around 64 minutes. Barcola coming on and getting that assist almost immediately for Hakimi's goal. That's a manager's dream.
The perfect super sub moment.
Textbook. It shows tactical awareness, perfect timing, and of course, having that quality on the bench ready to make an instant impact. It completely changed the game's trajectory.
And you contrast that with Seattle's subs.
Right. Seattle made multiple changes, clearly trying to inject energy and find a goal, but they just didn't get that same decisive impact. It's not necessarily bad management. It just highlights the difference in squad depth and maybe that little bit of magic PSG had from the bench on the day. That Barcola moment was a killer blow.
And thinking about the overall flow, those sequences of corners, throw-ins, free kicks, they really do show who was in the driving seat, don't they?
They paint a clear picture. Those periods where PSG had corner after corner, lots of shots. That shows sustained pressure, playing in Seattle's half, controlling the dangerous areas.
Dictating the terms.
Exactly. Even when Seattle won set pieces, they often struggled to build sustained pressure from them. PSG's goals didn't just change the score, they cemented that feeling of control, making it even harder for Seattle to wrestle back momentum. Control isn't just possession stats, it's controlling where the game is played and who creates the real threats.
So bringing this all together, what's the takeaway for you listening, beyond just this football match? How does looking at things minute by minute, like we just did, give you more than just the final score or the headlines?
Well, I think it raises a really important point, right? What we did was almost like a forensic analysis. We didn't just see PSG won 2-0. We saw how they won. The build-up, the key moments, the decisions that worked.
The process, not just the outcome.
Exactly. And if you only look at the final result in anything, business, projects, whatever, you miss that intricate dance of actions, reactions, the small shifts that actually led to the outcome. Understanding that granular progression, how things unfolded step by step. That allows for much better understanding. Maybe better forecasting, better strategy next time.
Because you know what actually mattered along the way.
Precisely. Every little action contributes. The key insights are often buried in those details, not just in the summary. It's the difference between knowing what happened and truly understanding why it happened. Patience and analysis pays off. Hashtags, tag, outro 8A.
And that wraps up another deep dive. We've gone through that Seattle Sounders versus PSG match report almost second by second, uncovering the tactical shifts, the impact of subs like Barcola, and how that relentless pressure and clinical finishing shaped the 2-0 result. It really shows how the big picture is just made up of countless small moments, doesn't it?
It really does. And it leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. How often in our own work or lives do we just focus on the final score, the end result? And by doing that, do we miss the intricate story, the small steps, the key decisions, the actions and reactions that actually define how we got there? What crucial details might we be overlooking that are shaping our own score if we just took the time for a proper deep dive?
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.